Hey everybody, good evening. I just want to talk a little bit about what I saw today on YouTube. There's a company called Biodiversity Law. They brought a story about a man, his name is Earnest Williams. He's Shirley Strawberry. He's her husband. Shirley Strawberry is on the Steve Harvey morning show. And a lot has been happening. So I want to talk about the video that Biodiversity Law streamed on YouTube. It was sort of like a bond hearing on Mr. Williams, and it talked about his current situation that he was in. I'm going to give you a little background. He lived in California. Now, this is all information I got from the video and just some brief looking. I remember Shirley Strawberry getting married. She had announced her proposal engagement on the Steve Harvey show. And I think there was something on there where he proposed to her on the morning show. I can't recall because that was some years ago. They said they got married in January of 2015, so they've been married for 8 years. But prior to her meeting him, I guess he had a prior criminal past, several different charges, such as armed robbery, where he went to prison for 5 years, and federal bank fraud. So those are some serious charges. I guess she overlooked them, or maybe she wasn't aware. I'm not sure. But what's going on with him right now? In the hearing that was held recently, I believe it was June 26, 2023. The charges are very serious, and he also has some other pending charges and bonds that are out there. They said that he had 2 in California. They didn't want to extradite him back, but there were 2 warrants for his arrest in California. One was for LA County and the other one was for Orange County, and they both dealt with him transporting stolen cars to Atlanta, Georgia. So that's serious too. I believe when anything crosses states, it could be federal. So he has a lot of charges going on right now. Well, let's get into it. From the hearing, it said he was 59 years old. He lived in California from 2015 to 2019. Now, I guess he met Shirley Strawberry in 2013, and they got married January of 2015. And from the internet, it says that Steve Harvey actually introduced them. Not sure if it's true or not, but that's what is being said, being written online. So he's currently 59 years old, and he's been living in Atlanta since 1994. He has some businesses there, a grooming business, some other different types of businesses. But I want to focus on more the criminal element, his charges, and what's going on with him currently. So let's talk about it. So some of the charges that they stated in that hearing were theft by deception, conspiracy to commit a felony. He had 3 counts of the conspiracy to commit a felony. He had 5 counts that involved nudity, a computer, photographs of children. So let's stop here and think about that. They didn't want to detail the actual charges because this is actually attaching his criminal history, his criminal record. All of this information is attaching to Shirley Strawberry, which is a part of her career as somebody that's, if you want to say, famous or known. So I guess they're trying to protect her a little bit, insulate her a little bit from that embarrassment and humiliation, because this is her husband. So there's 5 felony charges, and they have to do with nudity, also with computer photographs of children. So that's serious. That appears to be using possibly the internet, maybe to view pornographic pictures of children. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I'm just repeating what was said, and I'm deducing that that could be pedophilia, possibly, allegedly. Okay, let's talk about it. They were saying that there were some charges that were theft by taking, theft by deception, theft by services, and deposit account fraud. And I want you to watch the video. I posted the video prior to coming on here, so you can always look at my feed and go right to the video and watch it. It's not super long. It's kind of hard to follow, and that's why I had to take so many notes. I want to highlight some of the things that were specifically said about Mr. Williams. Now, this is not me talking about his character. I have no idea who he is. They do have a record of him being a businessman in the Atlanta, Georgia area, so he does operate businesses. I have, this is not personal. This is definitely me repeating and explaining in a more detailed way what was said on the record at the hearing. The prosecutor stated the following in the hearing. They felt that he was extremely dangerous. They anticipate 15 plus more warrants coming. They felt that he had a past that included multiple armed robberies. And I know they stated the armed robbery where he was in prison for 5 years or jail for 5 years. They didn't say prison or jail, so I'm interchanging the words. They felt that he was a flight risk, and they referred to some of his prison telephone calls. They listened to his phone calls that he was making from prison. One of the people he spoke to from prison, they referred to her as a girlfriend who resides in Florida. And then they referred to his wife, and the conversation with her was that he could stay in her boss's home, and if Shirley Strawberry is still working for Steve Harvey, that would be his home in Abu Dhabi. So I believe that's why they feel that he is a flight risk, because all of his plans is to leave the state of Georgia if possible. And I'm not saying that he doesn't want to return or he's unwilling to return, but his plans are to leave. On top of them saying that he was extremely dangerous, they stated reasons why they felt he was dangerous. They said that he may commit further felonies because he has a past as, a habitual criminal. They said that the facts of the case that they were discussing involved children, so that's a great concern. If he was to be released back into the community, would he commit additional offenses? And that's serious, especially when you talk about protecting children and keeping them safe. That's something you have to consider. They requested that his bond be $800,000, and they said just for the counts, and they said exploitation. Exploitation, 4 counts at $200,000 each. They wanted his bond for just those 4 counts to be $800,000. They also mentioned that the reason that the case that they had is not going forward is because they have more people coming forward and giving them information. They're still investigating, so they're looking at charges, but they haven't did the charges. And I guess there was a hearing in January of 2023, and they haven't been able to charge him because they still have people coming forward and providing information. So they're still in the investigative stage of that. They requested that he wear an ankle monitor because they want to know where he's at all times. 24-hour surveillance. They want him to surrender his passport, and that there be an order that he does not leave Fulton County, Georgia. And they do not want him to have internet access. Now that's going to be hard because if you have a cell phone, more than likely it has the internet. You have internet at home just for your basic services, but I think because the charges involve use of a computer for the I don't want to call it pornography. They're saying nudity. I want to use the word child pornography, but they're saying the exact word they used was 5 counts. And he said, let's say nudity. They have to do with nudity. That's usually called child pornography. But it involved a computer, photographs of children. So that's usually what you see with pedophiles and child pornography. Okay. So they don't want him to have any internet access unless they're really concerned about that. And they ask that he have no contact with minors or animals. Minors or animals. So I don't even know what to say about the animal part. I'm not sure what that's about. There's not a lot of information out when you go to the internet. There's some straight denial saying that he hasn't been arrested. So I'm not sure what the animal part is about, but they're asking that he has no contact with minors or animals. And then they also provided a list of people that he cannot contact. So they're trying to protect, shield, but I would consider maybe possible victims, people they're concerned about that might be vulnerable. So this is very troubling. At the hearing, Mr. Williams was represented by counsel. And on the record, there was statements made that the no contact order not include his wife, Shirley Strawberry, that she does want to not have that order. She had provided some type of writing, but that she didn't want to file it because she didn't want the public to know her address, so they probably have to seal it. I think it's a little difficult because with his past criminal history, with the robberies and the bank fraud, and he has so many outstanding warrants, like what's going on in California with those 2 charges involving transporting stolen cars, and now this 5 counts involving nudity, computers, and children. I'm honestly surprised that Shirley Strawberry wants to connect, wants to be able to be contacted by her husband. I'm not sure if she's looking to reconcile with him. They did say that they listened to the conversations, the phone conversations that they had, and the plans for him to possibly go to Abu Dhabi. Maybe she is going to help him fight the case, and that he can return back to their marriage and their home, and they can fight the case together. I think when you start talking about things like children, pornography, you have to take it very seriously. You as a spouse, a wife, you have children, grandchildren, you want to protect them as much as possible from any type of, I don't think I can say it on here, but any type of activity that would be considered criminal. So she just has to be very smart, very cautious, and hopefully these things are not true, and that she's making the right decision by allowing the communication and possibly reuniting. Everybody deserves a second chance, but he's not a younger person that you could see making a mistake at a younger age. He's much, much older. So hopefully this is not accurate information, but I don't know. I wanted to read an article that I also posted below if you go into the feed, so that you know it's newsworthy. So I'm going to read the article. It's not long. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to try, see if I can reverse mine. Okay. So the article says Fox 5, Atlanta, Roswell police make double arrest in $1 million fraud scheme. And this is an article by Denise Dillon. So it's going to be a little off because I have to take my phone off a little bit. You can check it out yourself. I linked it below. Roswell police have arrested 2 people in connection to a $1 million business scheme. Investigators say 57-year-old Earnest Williams and 46-year-old Erica King convinced people to pay them for their business expertise. And that's him right there. That's Ernesto. They would align themselves with their victims with promises to be able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings, said Roswell police officer Tim Lupo. Police say Williams and King acted the part and people paid good money for their services. However, investigators say they never provided any services and it was all a scam. We know about more than a dozen victims and over $1 million in monetary and property loss, said Officer Lupo. Roswell detectives first began looking into Williams and King in June regarding a case of rental fraud at a property on the 900 block of Pine Grove Road. Once detectives started looking into their financial transactions, it led them to the extensive business scheme. Williams and King both have multiple charges of fraud, forgery, and theft against them. I want to make sure that you know the date of this. This date was from October 25th, 2022. Okay, let's keep going. Police say Earnest Williams also goes by Nesto. Erica King also goes by Erica Hewley or Erica Hewley Rothschild. Investigators believe there are other victims who have been scammed and have not yet come forward. If you know anything about this case or believe you were victimized by Ernest Williams or Erica Hewley Rothschild King, please call Officer Fields at 770-640-4455. Anonymous tips can be left through Crime Stoppers Atlanta at 404-577-8477. There's a video too, so I'm just going to play that if possible. You can watch it here. I'm going to try to skip this ad. If it froze or what? Let me see. I'm trying to see
Out of $1 million, two people have been arrested on a number of fraud charges.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon talked to Roswell police about the pair's extensive business scheme and why they believe there are more victims.
Police say for years these two would convince people to give them money, and in return they would help them with their business or personal goals. But investigators say it was nothing but a scam.
I would consider them fraudsters.
Roswell police say for years Earnest Williams and Erica King passed themselves off as experts in various fields.
And they would align themselves with their victims with promises of being able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings.
Detectives say Williams and King acted the part, and people paid good money for their services, but walked away with nothing. Police say it was all a scam.
More than a dozen victims and over $1 million in monetary and property loss.
Police say their investigation first started at this home on Pine Grove Road months ago. Investigators say after Williams and King hadn't paid rent for a while, detectives started looking into their financial transactions, and it led them to their extensive scheme. Police say they were convincing.
Individuals who have been doing this for a significant period of time and are proficient enough that they can make people comfortable and act against their better judgment.
Williams and King are now in jail, both facing multiple charges of fraud, forgery, and theft. Police warn if you want to grow your business, make sure you work with a legitimate company.
Try and go with very reputable businesses if you're trying to grow your brand, grow your business, so that you don't end up a victim.
Of those 12 fooled, some were here in Roswell, others across metro Atlanta, and even a couple out of state. And police believe there are many other victims. If you have had any dealings with King or Williams, call police. In Roswell, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Okay, so that was the video that Fox 5 Atlanta News provided, just on them highlighting what they allege is going on with the theft of money. So I just wanted to show you that video. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it, the link is down in my feed. But it's just to add on that besides the charges that's in the Biolaw Diversity YouTube video, they also are alleging scamming of approximately $1 million for services that were not provided. So these are just more allegations. And that's why, it's very important for, a person to be aware of what's going on. So when they're with their mate, their spouse, they have an idea of what they're attaching themselves to, because it seems like there's a lot of charges that prosecutors said that they anticipated at least 15 more felony charges, coming soon, pending. So, he's going to have several battles to fight. And then maybe California will be interested in extraditing him over for those 2 stolen cars. I guess it depends on the value, and transporting them across state lines. So if the value is high enough, or if there's more interest, because there's so many different criminal allegations. They may have interest in getting involved now. Maybe in the past they didn't, but they may be building, more serious case. So I just wanted to share that information that I found out. And the reason I really did it, because this could be attached to really anybody, but it's just attached to a celebrity such as Shirley Strawberry, who's highly regarded, who has impeccable reputation, morals. So to even be attached to somebody, that's tough. I wish her family the best, and I hope that those allegations are not true. So just want to share that information, and I'm going to come back with some more ideas, some more things that's been floating around the last couple of days about Brian Koberger and the Idaho 4 murders. Okay, thanks for watching Thanks for checking out my video and watching it. Bye.